Hello, my name is Brian McNamara, and this is my short video essay on what makes me unique as a person and why I would like to potentially work at McGlone Academy as a special ed teacher. So, I think teaching really is a call to civil service. I'm from a military family. I know about service and sacrifice. Actually, my family can trace their roots all the way back to 1863 in the Union Army. Actually, they were into New York fighting 69th. I don't know if you know your history, but my ancestors came over from Ireland around that time and served in the old New York Irish Brigade. So a little bit of history there. So really, as I was saying, teaching is a civil call to service because you're trying to address inequalities in society where there's no easy answers because you're basically raising youth to try to fix those inequalities in the future, hopefully sometime. At least that's my idea of teaching. I'm really about social justice and culturally relevant teaching, and because I believe those types of philosophies are more engaging for our students, especially a diverse group of students who come from different backgrounds and in some cases from different countries. I think they appreciate when teachers try to incorporate relevant ongoing ideas, especially from their part of the world or part of their culture. I recently did a civil rights lesson with Martin Luther King, but I compared and contrasted him with Malcolm X. So basically, they're two different people, but they had the same idea, and that's what I was trying to get across to my students: is that it's okay to have different ideas as long as you have the same goal to change an injustice. And so we had very good debates on who they would choose on Martin Luther King's philosophy or Malcolm X's society or philosophy, and I had very interesting ideas from my students, and that's really what I wanted to teach them. It's okay to have different viewpoints as long as you defend it with evidence. So that was pretty successful. I also did a lesson recently on Iroquois because I'm from Syracuse, New York. So I grew up playing lacrosse there, and really growing up playing lacrosse exposed me to the history of the game, which is more than just a game to that particular group. It's actually called the medicine game. So I tried to impart my knowledge on students here is that it's not just a privileged white sport. In fact, it's the opposite. It's to bring communities together. So when I was a coach at George Washington and East High School, a JV coach, I taught them that lesson, and they actually liked it. And I don't know if they played any better, but they were definitely inspired by that lesson. So yeah, I'm really just a lifelong learner, and that's really why I wanted to be a teacher, is constantly teach people new things. And so specifically, I decided to become a special ed teacher because of my social justice views. I think that's the area where there's the most inequality, even in DPS. And I know DPS is trying to be more inclusive, moving to more co-teaching models. And that's not always an easy thing because some students need different things. Some students need that more pull-out one-on-one attention, and other students can function in the gen ed classroom. So really, it's finding that balance of co-teaching and pull-out, I think, in my opinion. But if I'm going to support a co-teaching model, which I know McGlone has, you have to have common planning. And at the previous schools I worked at in DPS, unfortunately, they wanted to do co-teaching, but they didn't have the model in place. So it's basically me trying to figure out what's the best common planning for these teachers, and they had all different schedules. So really what I try to do is collaborate at least once a week, sit down with them sometime, either after school or before school, and just look at the first month's lesson plan and backwards plan with them. Anticipate where students might struggle and adjust for their needs. So in conclusion, I've worked in many different schools, and I think my experience as a teacher is going to reflect a calm, even-keeled person who realizes that students are going to make mistakes, and it's my job to help them see that mistake and also prepare them for post-secondary readiness. Because ultimately, our SPED students are the most at risk for not achieving post-secondary success. And that's really an inequality the district needs to help address. Maybe give us more PDs about what is post-secondary readiness, what does it look like, what type of skills do our students in SPED need. So hopefully if I work at McGlone, I can work with the whole team and really just make the inclusion model more inclusive, if that makes sense. Because right now, we need a common direction from the district. Thank you.